Hi everyone, this is the E-mini Nasdaq. I'm using a 1000 tick chart and a 21 EMA. I've got my overnight high up here and my overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. So I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here, and notice that we have this uptrend and we get a break. Now when an uptrend gets a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new high. In the case of a downtrend, that would be a new low. And so we have this break here, we start pushing up to a new high. We've clearly got this kind of resistance right here. You know, you draw it off those bodies. When you get these pierces through, you can look to extend it, and we're clearly forming this right here. This is our overnight high level, and we struggle a little bit to push through it, but we do end up pushing on through. And so now we have an uptrend with a break and a new extreme, and so this uptrend is considered played out, so we can expect price to attempt a reversal. Now when you break out of the overnight level, you don't just want to immediately buy the breakout. When you see this, when you see these green bars pushing out, you want to wait for 2 attempts to fade. That way you can know that it's, you have confirmation of the breakout, because second entries, they form all over the chart. The market moves in pairs of 2s, and so when you break out, you want to see 2 attempts to fade before you buy with the breakout, because that's a fade failure. And so, as you can see on that first attempt to fade, it's already getting back in there. We push even lower on that second attempt. Now this measured move is in play. It has not been met, but it's still in play. And so right here, we do form this. You can see first entry long, second entry long failure. Now, it didn't set up like a perfect reversal pattern, because this downtrend right here has a break and a push to a new low. Now, once again, you still have that measured move in play, and you can easily get a second leg at a new low. It's very common to get a second attempt at a new low. But that doesn't excuse the fact that it does still have a break and a new low right here, so you do have to be wary. And so when we rush above the EMA right here, that's, it's looking pretty bullish, but we get this double top right here, and price just pushes on back down, closing back below the overnight low, or excuse me, the overnight high. And so I really like this right here. It's a failed second entry, very strong bearish reaction. A limit order is needed in this case right here, because this trend line is working up right there, and it's clearly holding. You got off those first 2 there, and then it holds right there, and so you don't want to expect price to push through that. And so limit order trade right there. But anyway, we push on lower here. We do end up finding some support at that trend line right there, so that's exactly why we used a limit order. And so anyway, we push on up here and we retest the overnight high, and then we just drop on down. So at this point here, even though we already formed this reversal pattern, you can still form another one, because, with this trend line, there was clearly this bullish, push. There was some bullishness here because it was holding on this trend line here. And so now that you've broken that, you could push down and get another failed second entry. An ideal reversal pattern will have a sharp push down. In the case of a short, it'll be a sharp push down and then 2 clear legs up, making a good failed second entry. I'll kind of draw one out right here. Push down, 2 clear legs back. That's an ideal looking reversal pattern. And then you're still expecting the new low for that downtrend. But in this case, sorry if you hear construction sounds in the background. There's some stuff being done on the house. So anyway, we push on lower here. We don't get that reversal pattern. It's a great place for it. You can see that price attempts to do that. You push lower, and you clearly have 2 pushes up right there. It's very choppy and sideways, so there's nothing to take, but you do still get that before pushing lower. And so anyway, we push down here, we go into this downtrend. At first you draw it like this and draw it from there, but then we break, start pushing down at a new low. Now even though it is clearly getting a break and attempting a new low, it's not a very big break. You can just immediately look to extend that, and then extend the lows, and then see how it fits. And so anyway, this is the real first break. Even though you had this break and then a couple pushes at a new low, which it is valid, a couple pushes at a new low before attempting to reverse. That doesn't excuse, or I don't mean to use the word excuse, but it doesn't take away the fact that there is a bigger picture structure in play, which is this entire downtrend. So even though you have those little breaks and a new low, this whole push down is one downtrend, and then this is your break, your 2 legs up, and then these 2 clear pushes at a new low right here. And so anyway, which with measured moves, we're going to get into measured moves in a little bit, because as you can see on this first push down, this is the first push at a new low, And so this is what sets that measured move, and this second leg down is not nearly the same as this. It's very much more choppy, kind of more sideways, takes a lot longer to get down there. But we'll get into that in a sec. So when the downtrend has a break, you can expect price to make a new low. Unfortunately, I did not like any shorts to make a new low. We just get these, when you get this first leg up and you push below the EMA, it ends up just holding. If we had pushed below and got a couple legs back, we could have gotten a short, but it ends up just pushing on up, kind of getting choppy right here. Then when it pushes lower, you just get this right here, first entry. No reason to take that. Push a little bit lower, first entry again, and then by the time we push lower and make a second entry right here, it's just completely getting sideways. So really nothing to take here. And then we finally get this spike up right here, making that, making this second leg more clear, and then we get a sudden drop. So unfortunately, just really nothing to enter on. We didn't even reach that measured move. And you don't want to enter right into this chop right here, right there. So, I certainly didn't like that. But we push on lower here, and now the downtrend is played out. We have downtrend, break, new low at the overnight low. And so the overnight low is a common reversal area, just like up here, common reversal area. And so when you break out, you can expect price to attempt to fade. Just like I was saying up here, before you buy the breakout, or in this case, short the breakout, you want to wait for 2 attempts to fade. That way it's confirmation that it's actually breaking out, because that would be a fade failure. But it ends up just fading on up very quickly. And so when you see this and you're pushing above the EMA, it's good to get a reversal pattern, a failed second entry, because again, the downtrend has played out, has a break and a new low. You're at a common reversal area and you're getting a fade. So a reversal pattern would be great, but it just doesn't form. It just pushes on up in one leg and then suddenly starts pushing back down. Now, you could just get a break and retest this and possibly push higher and look to get long and make that second leg up, but that just doesn't happen. We push on lower here. Of course, that's when I extended this wider trend line to it. You can start to draw it off these, and then when you break and it pushes lower, you see how it fits. And so got this wider trend, and we start pushing lower here. It's a little bit choppy, starts going sideways a bit. There's nothing to take here. We find some resistance we find some support at the overnight low here, get a couple pushes higher, but there's nothing to take there. And I certainly don't like this second entry short. Even though you broke out and got 2 attempts to fade and then it's barely closing back out, that's just not good enough. It's basically just closing back in. It might as well just be holding back on. It is closing out, but that's just not good enough. I would want to see 2 clear legs retesting the overnight low, not 2 legs actually fading back in. And so anyway, we have this measured move in play and we push on through it here. It's pretty common for price to reverse right off of measured moves, but sometimes it's just going to push through it, and then we retest it. We retest perfectly on that measured move level. It doesn't bounce right off of it, pushing, when it pushes down to it, but as it pushes through it, you're getting a good retest with these 2 clear legs. At first, it's just one leg. It's just one leg up, so there's nothing to take there. But at this point, you have 2 clear legs up, retesting this level. It's a perfect retest of that level. And nice push down. I didn't care that it was into the EMA. It's completely down at this point. This is also your second attempt to fade since the overnight breakout, because from here we break out and we get our first attempt to fade, second attempt to fade, and then failure. So the failure to fade while retesting that, this was such a great looking trade. So anyway, whoops, I accidentally went back a little bit. So we push on lower here when we test this low, this channel low, we push on up. Now you can get a reversal pattern and even take a long inside of a downtrend. If you're uncomfortable with it, then just don't do it, because it's better to just stick with the trend. But the truth is, if you're in a downtrend and you get a good reversal pattern off the lows, price is expected to try to reach the highs, so you can look for a long. But you do have to be careful, and nothing happens there, so we're not going to get too much into that. So we push on lower here and we get this lower high. It's not a good lower high, because when you come off of one side of a channel, like I said just a bit ago, price is expected to try to reach the other side. So you want to see 2 clear attempts to reach the other side before you continue entering short with that channel. And so this right here is not a good enough 2 attempts. I just view this as one leg and then barely a little push higher. I don't view that as a clear 2-legged move up. So there's nothing to take there. Push on lower here, make this new low, same thing, first entry, then it just gets choppy. We continue lower and then get this overshoot. Overshoots commonly lead to breaks, and so as soon as we get this overshoot, we have a pretty good spike back in. It's very common when you get an overshoot to get sharp pushes in the other direction, and oftentimes straight up leading into a break. It's not always going to lead to a break though, so you want to be cautious when entering short on a trend line right after an overshoot. Usually you just want to wait for more confirmation and then wait on a failed second entry, which could happen from here. We could push lower, get a couple legs back, and make a nice failed second entry. So, we'll see what happens. Let me just draw that out there for you. So, obviously nothing to take yet on this trend or on this in this area right here. You don't want to enter right into this trend right here. So that's what I would want to wait for, because then at this point right here, you'd have uptrend, break, first attempt higher, and then second attempt higher, and then failure. And so it would be perfect, failed second entry, and it'd be confluent with that uptrend. So, that's what I'd be waiting for, but I'm done for the day. So I'll probably make the ES video. There's one thing I have to go deal with first, so I might not be able to get the ES video out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.